Testing 1, 2, 3. Q Rocks Key. Mighty Zulu Kings. Ready rock.
In a small home recording studio in the heart of Kensington Market, Quinten Rockford Commanda, or Q as he likes to be called, is working hard on his music. While the market outside is quieting down for the night, Q and his friends are just about to get things started.
Rappers are tripping like monkeys flipping, yo, where's tradition? I'm hitting rhythms with funky collision compositions. It's non-fiction, natives live with addiction. I've only risen.
My real name is Manitou Neiman. It's a native traditional name. It means spirit dancer in Ojibwe. And then when I moved to a city, my mom gave me a name, Quinten Rockford Commanda.
31-year-old Q is native, coming from an Ojibwe and Haida heritage. After rapping about his life and his experiences for years, he's now on the brink of living his dream. He's recently been offered a recording contract with Universal Music. Q was born on the Nipissing Reservation near North Bay, Ontario, and grew up there until he was 6 years old. As an MC of Native descent, Q draws on his culture and the life lessons he's learned to create music with meaning. For him, hip-hop music was a natural fit for the story of his life.
I've always known hip-hop to be the voice of the poor people. It's going to always be around, as long as there's people getting oppressed and taken advantage of. I guess, I'm the voice of the poor people. I'm the voice of the Anishinaabe, that's for sure.
Creating music with a message is something Q's friends respect deeply.
Q's got a good message, and if you can combine that with something cool and fresh, then I think the kids will pick up on that, because I think they're sort of getting bored with the regular rap.
Q's got a lot of good things to say about his community and where he's coming from, given the trials and tribulations he's gone through as well, to show so many negative things aren't always going to bring you down, and you can always pick yourself back up and keep moving.
Keep moving. That's been the story of Q's life.
First area I moved to in Toronto was Moss Park.
Q wraps up recording and heads home.
From there, I moved to...
It's dark now, but Chinatown is still busy.
A part-time professional skydiver.
Q's home is a small apartment located in a large housing complex near Queen and Augusta. His home has many elements of both native and hip-hop culture in it. Growing up in both these worlds has made Q the man he is today.
It was a struggle on the reserve. It was very poor conditions. There was a lot of domestic violence. I remember a lot of substance and drug abuse problems going on in the community.
Q learned about the struggles his community faced at an early age.
My mom was a huge human rights activist, and she actually got a job teaching Native men in prisons. That's where she met my dad, because my dad spent 25 years in the Kingston Penitentiary for selling an undercover RCMP officer 2 ounces of coke, and he didn't even get a court date or trial. He just got sentenced. So growing up, I saw the struggle in everyone.
In 1986, when he was 6 years old, Q and his mother moved to the South Bronx in New York City. It was the first time Q had ever left the reserve.
My neck hurt the first week trying to look at the top of all the buildings. And I never seen stop signs before. I never seen lights before. I never seen sidewalks before.
Almost immediately after arriving, Q was exposed to hip-hop.
One of my first memories is ice cream trucks coming around the block playing hip-hop music in '86, banging it. I remember as soon as I got to the city and I learned about it, that's who I wanted to become as a man. I was like, shit, I gotta be this hip-hop dude now, because this native guy ain't gonna fit in.
Growing up in New York, Q started hanging out with the wrong people. It got so bad that his mother eventually stepped in.
I probably would've got murdered, because I was in some real street beef. And then my mom flew me out of New York and try to make me go back to the reserve. But after living such a crazy, hectic street life, to go back to the reservation, it's like setting myself up for more failure. So that was the first time I got sent away. I did 3 years in a maximum security facility for young offenders, and then I got out when I was 17. So it's my mom sent me to the reserve. She actually sent me to she sent me to jail, yo.
Looking back, Q ultimately sees his time in jail as a good thing.
If I didn't have that 3 years of sitting in that cell thinking to myself about what I wanted to do with the rest of my life, I'd probably be dead. Because I wasn't thinking of a future. I was just thinking about how the fuck am I gonna eat today? How am I gonna feel good about myself? And back then I felt good if I bought new gear, if I had lots of money in my pocket.
Since that time, Q and his music have grown. He's releasing his first album next year. He's calling it Smoke Signals, after the native traditional practice of smudging.
They say when you smudge or cleanse yourself with the smoke, you're removing all the negative energies and anything harmful. I kind of feel like that's what I'm doing to the music industry. is I'm gonna cleanse it and put in some really good, decent music that have meaning to it and a purpose that's not destructive. It's productive. Yeah, it's like my way of kind of like honoring the traditional way of how we communicated and bringing it to today's world.